when I spark you wet. Look how dark you get when you're marked for death. Trying to blow up like nitro and dynamite sticks. Yeah, that's no hydro, rock diamonds, that's sick. Got paid off my flow, right with my own clip. You can settle with the chrome and metal shit. I make it hot like a kettle kit. Who sent you?
The Modern Maverick.
Who sent you?
The Modern Maverick.
Kick in the door, waving the 4-4. All you heard was don't hit me no more. Kick in the door, waving the 4-4. All you heard was don't hit me no more.
Oh, shit. It's that time of week again. Time for another episode of the Modern Maverick Podcast. Coming to you live from Montreal, Quebec. Go Habs, go. This week's episode is brought to you by our first ever official sponsor, Orage Design MTL, a renovation specialist with over 10 years experience in kitchens, bathrooms, walk-in closet, everything you want. Mostly specializes in walk-in closets and Italian-style showers. The guy works with top designers to give you the best options for your renovation plans. I personally know the guy, the owner of the company. He's a great guy, a great friend of mine, and he's couldn't ask for a better guy. So if you live in the greater Montreal area and you're looking for any renovation projects, give my friend a call at Orage Design MTL. Check their website at www.oragedesign. That's ORAJDESIGN.com. Again, that's ORAJDESIGN.com. Orage Design MTL, our first official sponsor. So thanks to Orage Design MTL for sponsoring us and being our first official sponsor.
Yeah.
What's up?
You think he's gonna do my kitchen?
He can do your kitchen.
You do my kitchen?
He can do your kitchen. He can do your closet. He can do your bathroom. He can do anything, man. He's a great guy.
We get the Modern Maverick discount.
Uh-huh.
We get the Modern Maverick discount.
Yeah. Tell him the Modern Maverick sent you. So here, I'll give you a glass of scotch and we'll cheers to our first
Cheers
episode.
to that.
Cheers.
That's something we're drinking.
Yeah, here. I put a... Ooh. It's a
that's nice.
12-year single malt scotch. So
it's nice
to celebrate our first sponsor. I also bought a new video. So right now, with the proper editing, you're most likely watching this on a split screen.
Yeah, and they're seeing this for the first time.
Beautiful 182
Look
days
at that,
beard.
people. Look at that luscious beard.
I bought a bunch of essential oils that I ordered online, and I'm making my own beard oil now.
Yeah, I'm making my own massage oil.
So same thing.
It's just for me though. I massage myself with it.
What happened to your beard? You trimmed it, or
I trimmed it before the playoffs, and I started growing it again.
So now it's a playoff beard.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know though. It gets patchy and ugly though when it gets long. I have like little, the curly hair.
You wouldn't believe that how much I don't remember the last time I've gone a day without anybody mentioning and making a comment on my beard. And
I can imagine.
I'm not looking for the attention, but every day, especially at work.
Yeah.
It's like it's like a conversation piece.
No, for sure.
And then I'm like, Jesus Christ. Anyway,
it's like wearing a sculpture on your face or something, you know, something you put on your table. Like, oh, that's very interesting. Where did you get that? Oh, well, it was through an auction at Sotheby's.
And the first question is always, so when are you gonna shave it off? What's your goal? What's your goal? Where are you going with this?
Where are you going?
I have a goal. I have a beard, and whenever I feel like shaving it, I'll shave it. But right now, I love my beard. It's going good.
Hey, if you can grow one like that, why not?
That's what I say. If you can't grow a beard, you can't grow a beard. But if you can grow a beard, like I can grow a beard, I mean, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a man. Goddamn, I can grow.
Yeah, a beard, and it works with what you got going there, man.
Yeah, I guess
it's the Paulin look.
Paulin look. My little my newborn daughter seems to like it.
She tugs on it, you were saying,
She tugs on it, and then she cozies up on it. My girlfriend hates it.
She hates it, really? Still? She hasn't at all?
She'll never she likes me with a beard, but she'll like the trimmer, like shorter beard.
She doesn't like the sensation
4-week beard, not the I don't even know how many weeks I'm at now. It's like
a lot of weeks. Well, it's like half a
November
year,
2nd.
right?
November 2nd.
Almost, you said 6 months, 180 something days.
Holy fuck, that's true.
Dude, that's half a
To
freaking
6
year.
months. Cheers to
6
that.
months. More
Cheers.
drinking. More drinking. Yay.
Cheers. So this podcast is being-
Saturday, 2:15, by the way. Or what is it now? Yeah, 2:45. Sorry.
2:45.
See, I already
We're
can't read my
recording this
watch.
podcast during the game 2 of the Montreal Canadiens and the Boston Bruins game. So it's on PVR right now. So we're recording it, and after the podcast, we'll go watch the end of the game. Man, what a fucking week! This week has been. It's like is racism making a comeback that I wasn't aware of?
Yeah, apparently.
Because not only as I like, okay, there's the Donald Sterling thing that everybody's heard. This was breaking news, by the way, and must have been a slow week in news. I mean, it was on first page of CNN and everything. You got the Piqué Subban thing that happened a few days ago, which with the
that made the headlines in this city.
In Boston.
In Boston,
I mean,
too, probably,
the Boston Bruins organization had to make a bunch of comments about it. So it's not like it's a small thing. I mean, nigger was actually trending on Twitter.
Yeah, and what's the deal? If something's trending, it's because
that means it's being used
thousands, multiple thousands of people. I don't know what the exact number is, but I think somebody said like it's got to be almost like 10,000 people that are trending this shit. Like,
I don't know if it was. It was most likely not trending worldwide. It was probably just in the United States.
Yeah, within the city of Boston in particular.
But oh my god! And not only that, but I saw another thing yesterday. I was browsing in one of my MMA rumor website, and this New Jersey. Apparently, there's this rivalry between I think 2 New Jersey high schools wrestling team. Every year they go at it. They either go head to head and on a weekend.
Okay.
And their team versus one other team. And they got canceled this year, and it got canceled because one of the teams took a picture of all white wrestlers with their wrestling dummy, black wrestling dummy, hanging like a hang noose, and they're just like posing like gangster style. Like, yo, what's up with the peace sign up or whatever, the gang sign up.
There's so much irony.
And I was like, just like, what? Like, is racism like all of a sudden like are we going back to the age of like what, like 1800s? The last time racism was acceptable?
Well, maybe it's in reaction to that Klansman who got caught with a black male prostitute. Did you hear about that one?
I did hear briefly about that. Yes.
So maybe the racists were like, no, we gotta switch it. We gotta switch it. We gotta switch it on them.
Like we gotta bring back racism.
Bring back some racism. Get on Twitter, people. Start
Christ.
tweeting.
I don't know, man.
Well, the stupid people are gonna exist for forever. They always have, and they always will. And social media just gives them more power. And it's just like when people riot after like sporting events, and the anarchists will take advantage.
You always have the people making the trouble that weren't like they're not fan of the sport.
Exactly, and I can't imagine all of these people tweeting are genuine in their hatred for Piqué Subban, as opposed to it just being racist people that jump on that racist bandwagon.
It just blows my mind that in a day and age, especially on Twitter, if you're going to post something on Twitter, you got to think that if it blows up, millions of people are going to be able to look at your tweet and are going to see your tweet. It's like, Jesus Christ, man.
Well, and then the whole Sterling thing, and that dude from Top Gear, that TV series in England.
Yeah.
Apparently he was he let out a nigger as well, but he did it in a more mumbling manner. Apparently he was doing like a limerick. He was like choosing between something and was any, mini, mighty, mo. And
are you serious?
Maybe you can fill in the blanks. Yeah.
Any, mini. Grab a nigger by the toes.
Yeah, something like that. But apparently, I didn't see it itself. But Dave was telling me this yesterday, and he's telling me, that car show, that British car show, and I'm thinking he's talking about like a car expo, like like the Montreal car show. I'm like, I don't know, the British International Trade Show. No, that show. What the fuck are you talking about?
Top Gear.
And then we finally
Top Gear is a
TV show. I said, that's a different thing.
Top Gear is a pretty big show, especially.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going to happen with this guy. And Sterling, I mean, yes, it was a private conversation, but you're an idiot regardless. But
okay, let's face it. Donald Sterling is known for his racing.
And he's known, but nobody's ever really. I've never heard anything about it before.
One of his,
I'm sure.
He got sued and lost one of the biggest suit in American history regarding like that type of suit, which was against like he got sued by people that were trying to rent one of his building or rent an apartment in one of his buildings. And
Okay.
he apparently didn't rent it out to these people because they were either Hispanic or black. Like he was racially profiling people that were trying to rent his apartment, and then people sued him for millions of dollars. It was apparently one of the biggest suit in that type of suit. And that's a few years ago. So
that seems like a big deal, but yet
Yeah,
I never
I mean,
heard about it. As you know, I'm not
it's
really an avid basketball fan or Clippers fan, so
Well,
it's not like I follow their news in particular. But
the
if you haven't
Clippers
heard
have been
this
the
story,
laughing stock of the sports world for many years.
That I do know.
You know, so they didn't really give a fuck that they had a racist owner.
I guess, yeah.
But now they're
good.
like one of the best teams in the NBA, and they're making the playoffs, and they have superstar players, which are, let's face it, NBA is majority of their players are black.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know,
How can
you're
you
a minority
How can
if
you be
you're
a
white
racist
people.
basketball team owner? It just doesn't make
He's
sense.
82 years old.
Wouldn't
or
you go
whatever
into
he
like
is.
another sport? Like, I don't know.
But
If you're gonna be a racist sports owner, why would you be a I mean, unless he's running the coaching drills and really making them work, and he's feeling like Michael Fassbender in 12 Years a Slave. This is like his boner moment of the week. Yeah.
But he's not
this is my
even related
racism
to
at
the
its
team
best.
anymore. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man.
It's really bad. But I have something to say about the Donald Sterling thing. Is that if you listen to, did you listen to the tape? Did you listen to
I didn't even bother listening to it. I just read the transcript.
He didn't use nigger. He didn't use any racial slur. He just basically made a comment about not wanting to associate his girlfriend, not wanting to associate.
Yeah,
and you could clearly see that she's baiting him.
Yeah.
That's a crime by itself. And the guy got fined $2.5 million. Okay, that's a lot of money to me and you. We don't have that kind of money.
Never will.
But to him, he's worth, I think, $1.9 billion.
Yeah.
So to him, $2.5 million is nothing.
No, it's like the $10 bill in my pocket.
Yeah.
Actually, this week, the $10 bill in my pocket's a little more important.
Yeah.
Significant. So I got to hold on to that one. Ooh, gotta eat.
So-
Gotta eat this weekend.
And now they're going to force him out of selling the team. So I think it's a bit ridiculous, but at the end of the day, there's no place for that in anything. I mean, we're in 2014, and you shouldn't be a sports team owner that's racist like that. I don't care how old you are, when you were raised, if you were, part of the prohibition.
He's 82, not 182. Come on.
What?
He's only 82. He's not 182.
I know,
right?
but he's from the South, no?
The dirty South.
So
I heard he's a Ludacris fan, ironically. I don't know. He loves that move.
The
bitch
ATL.
song. I love that move, bitch. That's a good one.
back there.
Oh,
I got hoes in different areas.
lots of.
And his
Oh,
girl-
he's probably girlfriend, mistress. They got pictures of him sitting next to her at a game, right?
She's not even white.
She's not white, but already he's got a mistress. I mean, apart from all this, he's cheating on his wife the whole time.
No, his wife were separated.
Oh, they're separated, but he's probably been
divorced.
fucking this girl for a while, or
Yeah,
cheating on her,
yeah.
whatever. But I don't know.
But his girlfriend that caught him saying these racial slurs or racial things, she's not even white.
No,
So
no.
you were fucking a non-white person.
Well, to be
But-
fair, he only dislikes black people.
Yeah. Like I saw this one of the guys that tweeted about PK Subban and the nigger word, and he said, "It's not fair. I hate all races." I'm like, that makes you even more of a racist. I don't
You're
give
a
a fuck.
you're a serial racist.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's not fair. You guys call me a racist. It's not just him. I hate all races.
Jesus.
I'm like, you guys are idiots. You go on Twitter and you fucking hashtag the word nigger. I mean, and then you delete your account because you don't have the balls to keep it up. It's really, really ridiculous.
Yeah. It's been a great week for racists.
Wow, and it helps
Bad
also the
week
media.
for humankind.
Yeah, because the media ate it up like candy. Which is fortunate and unfortunate. It made for a great story, but I mean, what are you gonna do, man? So. It's been a crazy week sports-wise and worldwide. I mean, the fact that these kind of things made headlines all over the place kind of it's a bit sad,
Yeah, considering what's going on in the Ukraine right now, and I mean, unless you're checking the alternative news sites, that coverage. Not too long ago was all over CNN and stuff, and now they're not really showing anything, but shit's getting fucking really bad.
I heard that they're basically like fighting right now.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, yesterday there was petrol bombs or like Molotov cocktails thrown into a building, and I don't know if it was 20 some odd.
But who is attacking who right now? Is it Russia? Russia attacking?
It's pro-Russia supporters and pro-Kiev supporters, and everyone's clashing.
So the whole thing is that Russia claimed to this nation called, what was it?
Well, Ukraine used to be part of the USSR. They got their independence, but obviously there's some that are still.
But then there's that little island of Crimea that basically
and that's where
became part of the
Russia, they had a referendum which was considered illegitimate, and the referendum basically supported being a part of Russia as opposed to staying as a part of Ukraine, and that's when Russia stepped in and basically like claimed to Crimea at that point, claiming that their referendum was legitimate, and that's where shit really started getting bad, because there were those obviously who don't support it and those who are supporting it, and Russia's sticking their nose in it, and other countries and Barack Obama and the States are threatening Putin. It's a mess, man. It's like Syria. That shit's still going on. Shit's still bad.
But like you said,
the latest information
that's cool. We're like with the audio clip tuning in. It's very professional. We could have ran with that.
I'm trying to find a play. I was looking into having like one of those video monitors, so like you could switch. Like I could put a video clip and then I could log in.
Nice,
so
you could do it live.
Jesus Christ, these things are expensive.
Yeah,
not the budget for that.
Well, already, I mean, the studio's grown quite a bit since our old location. So, until we get more sponsors, you don't have to dip too deep into your pockets.
It's doing good right now. I was trying to tweet. I was just trying to research this Ukraine thing, but it is sad that if I look on the CNN right now on their homepage, it's all there's nothing about Ukraine.
No,
there's a bunch of shit, but you're right. That's probably one of the biggest things. Is it working now?
It's better.
It dried up.
Upside down.
Like, there's also, what's this? I see another Tyson Gay. He's in the he got caught doping. That's the
yes, the runner,
They reduced his 1-year doping ban.
Oh,
poor guy. Like, that's another thing. I don't even want to get into it, but you got sports like sprinting, and tell me that every 9 out of 10 guys on the line are probably doping in some sort of way. You know what I mean?
No,
you don't think so?
No, you're lying.
They're into blood doping now. You ever hear that shit?
Blood doping?
They used to do blood doping. It was very popular and probably still is popular in cycling. And it was basically. I don't know if they take out some of your blood and replace it with other blood.
Like Keith Richards does to stay alive.
He goes and he drains himself out of it, all of his blood, and then apparently these guys, that this procedure of blood doping, it makes your blood very thick. So these guys have to constantly work out to like thin their blood out, you know what I mean? To keep the blood pumping, because it gets so thick that their heart just holy fuck, it doesn't. So apparently Lance Armstrong, after he confessed to like all this doping allegations, he used to say that when you were doing the Tour de France and those big competitions at night, because everybody sleeps in the same area, they park their vans and their bikes and stuff, he would hear other guys going out at night and going for a ride, because they'd have to like constantly, like, if not, they would probably either die or get in big trouble. They would have to keep their heart pumping and keep that blood going through their things. So it's even rumored that a lot of MMA fighters are doing that now. And I heard Joe Rogan talking about it, because he said that he sees guys now like a day before his fight, like before or after their weigh-ins, like putting in like a hard workout, like hitting the pads really hard, or doing like a real like grappling like an hour, like really like getting like sweating, like full blown practice. And you're like, dude, you're fighting tomorrow. And it lends a question like, well, why are you doing this? Are you doing this because blood doping is forcing you to do this? Or are you doing this because you're just so much hyped up and energy, you got to burn it out and stuff like that? You know what I mean? So it's like,
That's interesting because I was reading an article the other day, and one of the Fertitta brothers was talking about the fact that they can't do this drug testing for every fighter, every fight, because it would basically put them in the hole. Well, I don't know how legitimate this claim is, but apparently it costs $45,000 to test somebody.
I guess maybe for blood doping, but I don't think because I know VADA can test it's just a blood sample.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't know what
they're testing every fighter on every card now. I believe the UFC.
I don't know. No, I don't think so. That's what he was saying, that they can't afford to do it. It's too expensive. They can't afford.
I think that's when you go to private. That's why they don't want to use the private part of it. They keep it to the commission, because when the commission, you can have more if you want. If you,
I might.
Yeah, here I brought some ice if you want.
Oh yeah, look at that. He's equipped with a baggie full of ice. My baggies have something else in them.
Yeah, well, I got that too. I got that shit too. Actually, I don't have. I ran out.
Speaking of sponsors,
the thing is,
I'd like to sponsor the delivery service.
Yes.
Or claim sponsorship too, or ask that they do. I don't know if they listen to us.
Imagine delivery service of.
Let's go find Half Baked there, Mr. Nice Guy.
Yeah. We should start our own business. Fuck it. Fuck the meth lab you were talking about last time.
Yeah, I looked into it. It's too expensive, and I know nothing about making meth.
Imagine.
I have no idea.
Here.
I sucked at chemistry.
What is this? Meth?
I don't know. It might be Tylenol. It might be meth. I'm not sure. It's blue, like on that TV show.
Let me know what you think. Pay me after. Yeah. You don't have to pay me right now.
Yeah, I couldn't find a guinea pig, so you can try it first.
So here's what I can read about. Blood doping is the practice of boosting the number of red blood cells in the bloodstream in order to enhance athletic performance, because such blood cells carry oxygens from the lungs to the muscle. A higher concentration in the blood can improve an athlete's aerobic capacity, VO2 max, which is a big thing in endurance in any sports. The VO2 max is always what they keep looking at. And so basically they boost these red blood cells so you can your body can transport more oxygen into your blood from your muscles, I guess, from your heart to your muscels.
Yeah.
And apparently
sounds medically sound. Seems legit.
And apparently it's very hard to. But back to your what you were saying about I think privately, like companies like VADA and companies like that do testing, maybe they do charge like, what do you say, $45,000?
I'm looking for the article now that Mousepad is working.
But I think when it's left to the commission randomly does. I think they test everybody on the main card.
Possibly.
I think.
Oh, here we go.
Most of the time.
I found it. Here we go.
Does it say?
In an interview with MMA Junkie, the UFC's Lorenzo Fertitta said that the promotion would probably go out of business if it tested its fighters for performance-enhancing drugs all year long. The cost of testing, here you go, is $45,000 per fight.
Per fight, so
$45,000 the cost of testing.
So every fight card they put $45,000 towards testing everybody,
I guess.
But what he's talking about year round is testing guys when they're in training camp, and that's what's not going on in MMA. Is that they don't test you.
So they'll spend the $45,000 per fight to do it, but that's it.
They only test after the fight, so it's easy for a guy to cycle in and out of his doping when he knows he's only going to get tested at the end of the fight. Yeah, it's not like cyclists like Lance Armstrong. They used to knock at his door at wee hours of the day and it's like, all right, pee here, let's take a blood. You know what I mean? So that would be expensive.
Yeah. But, well, okay, here it is. He talks about on enhanced testing for big fights. Said that we're gonna have to get smart about it and how we deal with it. Obviously, for some of the bigger fights, you're going to do the enhanced tests. All right, so like you say, like the big main events, maybe not all the fights on the main card, but beyond the $45,000. That's a lot, man. That's a lot more than most of the guys are getting paid.
But don't you think that if you have a past of getting caught, you should get tested if you're going to fight again? That, in my opinion, if you've gotten caught and you got suspended, then when you come back, at least for the first couple of fights, you should be tested randomly during the
Absolutely. I think personally in anything, you get caught once, all right, fine. You learn your lesson, you get suspended. You get caught twice, you're out. That's it. Like, you got your chance. Why would you get two? Yeah. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, especially in fighting where any advantage such as doping, you guys are punching. Like, I've been in there. You're fighting. Mm-hmm. it's a dangerous advantage to get either bigger, stronger, or you get to train more because you're punching guys in the face. It's like, it's very dangerous. So I think things like that, when it comes to cycling and all those sprinting and stuff, I say just let him dope. Because if you let him do it, everybody's going to do it. So it's like, where's the advantage?
No,
basically,
at that point, there's no more advantage.
But there's guys with these morals.
But it's the
these things called morals, and you know
the message it sends to the kids.
Oh shit!
Whatever. Fuck. What kid is taking running?
I was about to say something, but I'm not gonna say it.
Okay.
So no, but I get what it is about, but it's still a shitty thing, man. I was gonna say something, but I totally forgot. My brain is like not working today. Fuck. I was gonna bring something up about doping. I forgot. You wanted to say something earlier, you said?
Yeah, it has nothing to do with doping. It has to do with porn sites. I was making this observation the other night. I was doing some research for a friend.
That's a great segue.
Yeah, I know.
You were making what?
I was. You know how those. We're men. Everyone goes on, been on a web porn site, right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Maybe not. You don't. You're practically married. You've got 8 kids now.
I should spend more time on the websites then if you.
So they'll filter the videos. You'll have like the newest clips and those that are rated the best and the ones that are most viewed.
And the ones currently playing as well.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like YouTube, like anything, like any video site.
Yeah, it's very similar to YouTube.
So it's just got naked people having sex. But I was thinking, why would you want to be watching this? Because, we're not watching this just, because we're looking for something entertaining. Most guys are tugging it while they're watching this shit. Why would you want to jerk off to what's being watched the most right now or by other people? So what I like to do is find the obscure shit that has like no views yet and like basically pop that video's cherry.
That's what they should do. They should post the videos on their own homepage of the ones that need some love.
Yeah, that's it. Those ones need some love, right? So, So, like, do the reverse search. Instead of searching for the most viewed, search for the least viewed. And, you won't feel...
You might be surprised.
It'll be a little more intimate that way, I think.
Because when we go on these websites, we go straight to what we need, it's like there's no...
It's like, what's popular? What's everyone else into these days?
There's no browsing. Like, let me just browse the porns. All right.
You don't want to spend 45 minutes doing this. It's, you got to get to sleep.
Normally
I can't sleep right now.
Normally you got 15 minutes till your wife comes home. You're like, I gotta rub one out right now. There you go. All right, fuck the populars. It's just like first clip that comes on.
That's it. So find those zero viewed videos.
Yeah, and they put the popularity also on the bottom.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
87%. Right?
Yeah, 86 thumbs up.
Fuck, man. Like, there's like nobody likes the same shit. Especially
no, that's it. I find myself not always liking what everyone else likes either. Like 70%, now I'm totally into it. For me, it's a 90, and for the world, it's a 70.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
And then you click on the lesbian category, and it's all over 90.
Yeah, everybody loves lesbians.
It's like, you got 2 girls. That's not fair.
Yeah, it's too easy.
It should be every vote should be half a point and not a full
exactly.
point.
It shouldn't be equal value. It's like defensemen and forwards in a hockey pool. You gotta give the
defense are worth less than forwards.
Yeah, I know.
Or should be worth more because they see.
Yeah, well, that's the argument in our pool, where it has been for a little while.
Well, they do see more ice time.
It's just because they make as much money, but they get less points. So how do you give them credit for doing other stuff, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, they had the nominees for the Norris this week. They've been announcing a lot of the nominees.
Who got
it's Keith, Chara, and Weber.
Yeah, that I saw, and I saw the Hart
I think it should go to Keith.
Is,
yeah, interesting. Crosby. Getzlaff.
Yeah,
and the surprising one was Giroux. Considering he did nothing for 20 games, didn't even make Team Canada. He's being nominated for the MVP.
They're making it up. They're making up for it, maybe. But who else were you going to nominate, though?
I don't know. There was some goalies that were pretty big. Bishop was pretty huge for Tampa. Varlamov was pretty huge for Colorado.
So they got nominated for the Vezina. You would have nominated for the
Taves had a big year in Chicago, I found.
Yeah. I think the whole thing with Giroux is that because he picked up his game, his team made the playoffs.
That is true, because they were really fucking bad at the beginning.
They were horrible at the beginning of the year, I remember.
Yeah, it was another It's another bad year for the Flyers.
But they made the playoff and they gave it a go against the Rangers. I'm happy. I was happy to see the Rangers get through because I didn't want the Flyers against my Pens.
They have a hard time.
Oh my god! But then last night's game, it's like, oh my god! I didn't even watch it. I watched like 5 minutes of it. They scored, and I'm like, all right, I'm done. My girlfriend's like, you got to change channels. You're gonna get upset. I'm like, all right.
I was following the scores online, and then I was on Twitter, and I saw some guy saying Fleury's the first goalie to give up 2 OT goals in one game.
In one game?
In one game. Oh, did you not see how they won the game in overtime?
Yeah, he
the
scored.
First shot went in. They didn't think it went in. They play continued, and they scored again.
I'm like, dude.
So he gave up 2 goals in overtime. Good.
Fucking Fleury.
I'll
never win. It was something I put here in my notes. Because 2 weeks ago, we did do a podcast last week, but 2 weeks ago, this was when the Pens were playing Columbus. Yeah. And then that whole blunder where, he misplayed the puck behind the net. Mm-hmm. Cost him the game-tying goal, and then I don't know how many seconds in the fucking overtime, guy shoots from halfway across the thing, and he lets him go. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, listen, I'm a huge Pens fan, but I don't think they'll ever be able to win another cup with Fleury behind them.
I called it going back to the World Junior Championships when his blunder cost Canada the gold medal.
Yeah.
I said, this guy, you see it. You see he's nervous. He's a nervous goaltender,
yeah.
And when it comes down to the line, I mean, he played very well when they did win the cup. I mean, the entire team.
But the team played
at
though.
The time. The team was
playing well. If you're scoring 5 goals, your goalie doesn't need to be that solid.
Yeah, wasn't that the series? Didn't they have a series against? Was it against Philly or who was it? The games were like 7-5 or something
against Rangers, wasn't it?
I can't remember the series. I think they beat the Rangers. There being like high scoring games and going, yeah.
But it's always like that, though. They always score 6 or 7 goals, but then it's like a 7-6 game or a 7-5 game. Mm. Yeah, okay. Your goalie wasn't solid, but you scored 7 goals. In my opinion, in the NHL nowadays, if you scored 5 goals, you should win the game.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
But it's not always the case with Pittsburgh because
they got
Fleury. These 4 or 5 goals game, and you're like, oh my god.
And Crosby's not 100%.
There's something wrong with him. There's definitely something wrong.
Just
with
like Thomas Vanek in Montreal.
You think he's hurt?
There has to be. I don't know. He's pulling himself off the ice 20 seconds into his shift.
Yeah, he's not lasting very long.
There's something up. Like I watched the first period, and he did that too. I didn't see him much out there. And at one point, he went into the corner. And he came out very slowly and skated to the bench.
Especially in game 1, where I barely noticed him. In game 1, he played like 20 to 30 seconds shifts, and he was off the ice for very stretches of long.
Yeah.
I think that Pittsburgh, we all know Malkin is not 100%. I think he came a bit early from an injury just to make the playoffs so he can play. And then you got, who knows what's wrong with Crosby. He's not scoring. If Crosby's not scoring, you're screwed.
He was on for every goal last night. -3.
-3. Him and Kunitz last night. It's really bad. Do you follow the wrestling nowadays?
Not since WrestleMania. We had a WrestleMania chat. I watch that as I usually do, but
I follow sometimes on Monday. There's nothing else on TV, and sometimes I'll just turn it on because it's on. Lately, for the past few months, I've been doing that. Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
This guy. Did you see his promo last week?
No.
So I don't know if anybody out there listens to wrestling. I know it's a bit juvenile, but man, that guy is probably the best promoter.
He's gotten pretty good.
Wrestling, dude.
Yeah, he's got a pretty cool character.
You got to check the video. He had these young kids come out.
Okay.
This chorus of young kids wearing these brown
like a robe?
Yeah, a robe, like a monk type thing.
Okay.
And they're all singing that song that he's been singing lately. I forget what the fucking song is. Anyway, yeah. At the end of each promo now that he pulls against John Cena, because him and John Cena are feuding, right? And he goes into this song and he sings. So all these kids came out. They were all dressed in that robe. Then they were singing. All these kids, they all walked to the ring. He came. He was sitting on his thing there. He sits on his rocker.
Yeah.
One kid was sitting on his lap.
Oh my!
And had that lamb.
Oh
mask,
yeah.
And the kid was just staring at the camera.
Yeah,
and then they all put their sheet mask, and they're all surrounding the ring, and John Cena was in it, and he was just holding the mic and just laughing hysterically while they were singing. It's the creepiest shit I've ever seen. But the most this guy. This guy should probably be like the number one guy by next year. You know, somebody's gonna put him over.
Yeah, he's come a long way. Considering what he
he
used
was
to
on
wrestle
NXT, I think.
Yeah, and then he worked on his thing down in Florida. They have their minor leagues. He was there for a while developing that character.
OW something or
is it OVW or F? Yeah, they had a couple, and there was FTW or FCW.
It's like their
Florida
minor leagues there.
I think. Yeah, that's
their
it.
minor leagues.
So yeah, he was there for a while developing his character, which is kind of a twist on
holy fuck,
the
man.
character from Cape Fear a little bit.
I think he's really, but he can talk the mic like no other.
He's great on the mic. Yeah, he's good. It's
we all know
he's
McMahon looks for two things. You got to be able to speak,
and you got to be
the
big.
mic, and you got to be massively
not
muscular,
so much anymore,
but you got to be intimidating.
Yeah, exactly.
Against your opponents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why you look at Batista, who's he's back into wrestling, and he's not as big because he went into MMA.
Yeah,
so I think he lost a lot of his muscle mass because he
can't fight at 300 pounds.
And he's a lot smaller. You can see by his shoulders. You look at him, and his shoulders
his
are
face looks very different.
I love how he has the Gracie Barra sign on his shorts now in WWE.
Yeah, you like that? You don't find it's a little?
It's a little weird.
It's a little bizarre.
It's a weird. Yeah, it doesn't mix mixed martial arts and pro wrestling.
No, especially since he's not a legitimate mixed martial artist, or at least he never really proved to be.
What was his
maybe
record?
In his own mind?
What was his record?
I think he fought one fight? No.
He lost against that. Remember that black guy,
Bobby Lashley?
Yeah, he lost.
Did he actually fight him? He did.
Didn't they fight? That was his last fight.
What happened to Lashley anyway? Strikeforce was trying to hype him up, and then he lost.
Yeah, he lost.
Lost to what's his name? Dude with the sideburns, Irish dude.
Griggs.
Yeah, Chad Griggs.
And then that guy went on a run, and then he lost.
Yeah, and then that ended pretty soon. Very quick. Yeah, his run ended pretty quick.
All right, let's see what's the stats on SureDog.com. Oh, he's one win.
That's it. Yeah, he was supposed to fight Lashley. I don't think it ever happened. I think he wasn't.
Is that what happened? I thought he did.
I know Lashley was getting hurt every other week. He had a new injury though.
That's another guy that was in wrestling, right?
Yeah,
Lashley.
And that was the big problem of his too. Yeah, he was like the Black Lesnar. That's what they used to call him on the internet, Black Lesnar.
They were pushing him hard in WWE, and then he just quit.
Yeah, he decided to go to MMA. He was horrible on the mic though. He had no mic skills, and he had a little Mike Tyson voice, which didn't help either.
It's like that new big guy they have in WWE now. He's the Intercontinental Champion. He's like a Jamaican guy. I don't know what his name is, but he has the biggest pecs you've ever seen in your life.
Really?
Man. He's black. He's big. He's massive.
He's just your type.
But he doesn't. Big and black and
muscular.
massive.
That's how he likes them.
Wow. And but he doesn't talk the mic. He doesn't talk the mic.
Can't do the mic.
You get all these guys that are huge and win. They have belts, but they can't talk.
Well, back in the day, that's why they gave them managers like Bobby Heenan and Ted DiBiase and guys like that were great on the mic, and they didn't have to.
But
Andre the Giant didn't have to cut many promos.
But when he did cut a promo, he didn't say anything.
He didn't say much either. But Bobby Heenan.
But back in the day, they used to cut promos in between matches. You know, in the back.
Yeah.
And then they had the sign, and then you'd had the whatever his name was.
Yeah, they had Gene Okerlund or
talk to him, and then
dude,
it would be more scripted. They could actually be cut and say, okay, that didn't work out. Let's try again. Mm-hmm. Now they seem to cut all their promos in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, and they're doing a lot of live stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
So it makes it harder for these guys that without a script just can't do it. You gotta be like, oh fuck, I have to remember all these things. Nah, I didn't. Fuck it. I'm just gonna go.
Guys like, I think Steve Austin, was maybe the first to really break that barrier down and just improvise and just come up with stuff on the spot. Yeah, just get everybody into it. And The Rock followed, and everyone kind of had to try to keep up with them.
I think The Rock did it best though. Well, especially
and I mean Austin's shtick got tired after a while when it turned into what every 2 seconds. Remember that phase?
It's still on that thing. It's still popular. Every time somebody goes on the mic and they'll say what.
That's where it started to get okay. That's the best you can come up with.
That was that went on for an extremely long.
But he was great at cutting promos even before when he was in ECW. He had a short stint in ECW. Did some great promos where they just. Paul Heyman just let him rip WCW and Hulk Hogan and all these guys because he had just got canned from WCW, and that was a pretty good period. And
when they first brought him to the WWE, though, he had the $1 million.
Yeah, he was the ringmaster.
The $1 million
champion,
and he didn't speak.
No.
And then he won
And
the
he had
King of the
he
Ring.
had a blonde buzz cut.
Yeah,
And then
then he won King of the
Ring.
Ring, and then that's the first time he spoke.
Yeah,
on
he
the ring-
gave
on the-
he beat Jake the Snake Roberts, and Roberts was doing a whole gospel biblical character kind of thing.
and then he came out with Austin 3:16.
Jake the Snake talks about John 3:16. Austin 3:16 says, "I just whoop your ass," and that's how it all started, and it's still in my brain. I remember that very well.
I had a T-shirt.
Yeah, I had the which one did I have? I don't think it was the regular one. It was a different one.
I had the one that had the Terminator skull
Yeah.
on it, and the back, and on the front it said. It didn't say Austin 3:16. I think it was can of whoop ass or something.
100% whoop ass.
Is that what it
something
was?
like that,
Yeah. I'd gone to see them live back home, and they were selling T-shirts, and they didn't have the one I wanted. The only one they had of Austin was that one. I was like, I gotta buy a T-shirt. Fuck, man. And I had to buy Austin, and he was there that night, so it was pretty. It's pretty. I went to see a Raw once, Monday Night Raw in Halifax, Nova Scotia. That's when Goldberg was in the wrestling in the WWE, and he had a feud with was it that was Stone Cold at the end of the night. They didn't have a feud, actually. He had a feud against Christian, I think, at the time. It was a really long time ago. And at the end, Austin and Goldberg, he brought in this shitload of beer. He had these people come in, they were drinking beer in the ring and stuff like that, and then he stunnered Goldberg at the end of the night. That's what happened. He cheers, hey, cheers, and then he drank, and then he stunned him. It was so funny. I was actually on TV for like half a second. I have the VHS tape. Yeah, the camera pans and the thing, and me and my buddy were just like, yeah. And then for like half a second, I have the VHS tape here, but I don't have a VCR anymore.
Seriously, I have a lot of great stuff on VHS, but I'm like, shit, I threw out all my VCRs. That's why they have those shops. I was having this conversation on the carrier. There's this place that turns your videos into DVDs, and my buddy's like, who the fuck even goes to this store? This has got to be a front for like the Russian mob or something, you know?
But everybody goes, can you even buy a VCR anymore?
And maybe if it's like a combo DVD VCR thing.
And even then, DVDs. Like $20?
Then, do you buy DVDs or do you buy Blu-rays now? Because DVDs are a thing of the past for me. I'm all about the Blu-ray now.
I don't buy anything.
You don't? Well, I mean, let's not lie. I mean, I download a lot of stuff, but, every once in a while I'll buy
some legal shit. But
I've become the fucking provider for people that work in my building now. Beyond my office, my buddy Michelle, the maintenance guy in the building, now it's whenever I download something, like once a week, he gives me his USB stick and he's like, oh yeah, transfer me some films. And now he's got yesterday he pulls up a freaking doctor from the X-ray lab, helping her transfer shit into her computer. He's like, if you ever need an X-ray, she'll she'll bump you in line.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so
if
I break something soon.
So he's bribing you with the.
Well, it's just to say, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. The wheel, it keeps on turning. It's the wheel of life, baby.
Every time I hear that, I'll scratch my back, he'll scratch yours, and I always think about Superbad. Oh, the funny thing about my back, funny thing is my cock.
My back is that it's attached to my dick or attached to my cock. Yeah.
Oh, that was so funny.
Yeah.
Superbad. That's a fucking. I love that movie.
Yeah, I was a different kind of awkward with the ladies. I wouldn't have said that, but it would have been awkward nonetheless.
The funny thing is, oh, that's fucking hilarious. But yeah, man, I'm into Blu-ray. I mean, no, I don't even. Do they even sell DVDs anymore?
Yeah, tons.
I sometimes
more so in the
$5
bin, but a lot of people.
Yeah, there's a lot of those $5-10 bins now. You go to Walmart, it's all $5-10. I bought like a Spider-Man cartoon for my son. It was like $10. That was the Iron Man and Marvels or Avengers. And it was $10, and it's not Blu-ray. It's the old ones, But all the new movies, they keep coming out. I don't understand. Like, I started working for Sony in 2000 when DVD players were just coming out. Okay,
players were just coming out.
They weren't just coming out, but
they were getting popular and affordable.
They were $500.
Yeah, when they
2000.
first came out. Yeah,
I remember when I started working for Sony in the store, our cheapest DVD player was $399. All right. We still sold probably 3 or 4 different types of VCRs, even more, and even back then the cheapest VCR was probably $99. So you'd go, and then we didn't have flat screens. When I started working for Sony in 2000, we didn't have flat screens, LCD, plasma. It was the tube. Our wall was filled with tube TVs, you know? You could get the plasma. They were like $20,000.
Yeah, they were ridiculous.
And as the years went by, DVD. So basically, what year did the DVD format came out?
DVD format came out probably a lot earlier than you think it did. It's just that nobody fucking bought them because they were $50 a piece.
But were movies being brought out in DVD?
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking. I mean, I had my first DVD player. I don't know if I was still in high school or coming out of high school.
How much you pay for it?
Before the advent of DVD in 95. See, 1995 DVDs. And before that, there was the laser discs. Remember those?
Yeah. Well, the laser disc is like the beta. What was the
beta
VCR beta?
Beta,
it's like the beta,
which was apparently better. But
laser disc was also apparently better.
Yeah, but they were fucking huge, mind you. It's cool. I like records. It'd be nice to have the big.
Oh, was it the big ones? The laser discs?
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, maybe now they were not as good.
Not as good, but beta.
Beta was higher quality.
Beta was higher quality, but I believe, like the whole Blu-ray versus HD DVD competition, whatever you want to call it, the rivalry, VHS won because the porn industry, I believe, went with VHS. And I think that was, or unless it either happened with both or it just happened with Blu-rays. But I know the porn industry decided to go with Blu-ray instead of HD DVD, and that was kind of the downfall of HD DVD. Yeah. That just goes to tell you, to bring it back to the porn, is that people, aren't just browsing on...
runs everything. I mean,
porn, it's a lot of money. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry.
But wasn't beta only an hour and a half? You can only record an hour and a half on it.
Oh, could be possible.
Because there was only one. There was only one thing, right? It was only
one side, one spool. I don't know. I've never owned. My parents didn't have a beta player. I think my aunt or somebody in my family
think the whole
did,
thing behind VHS and beta is that they came out at the same time, and then Panasonic decided to invest in VHS and then marketed it like worldwide instead of beta, and then it just spooled from there. I don't know if it was Panasonic or somebody, but beta was definitely quality wise the best quality, the better of the two. But I think you could not record as long on beta than you could on VHS. VHS you could record like at low quality up to like 6 hours on a VHS, and some up to 8 hours.
Was it that long?
Yeah, like you had like 3 different units, like SP, EP, and you could
I remember.
Up to 6 hours.
Yeah, because I remember
like
we used to record
movies.
because remember WCW Nitro used to be like 3 hours.
Yeah, and I used to record it.
We used to record it all on one tape. That's for sure.
Yeah. So I started working for Sony in 2000. We sold DVD players. So 95 made, and now we're in an age where DVDs are almost done. I mean, it's all digital now. You can go on iTunes. You can go anywhere. You can buy. You can you got Netflix, which is becoming more and more popular. Obviously, they don't have as many titles, but
what you're paying
$7 a month, man. You get a shitload of especially for documentaries, man. That is the shit. Netflix. It's ridiculous, and I mean, but within the next 10 years, I don't think. Obviously, Blu-ray is bigger now. But I remember when Blu-ray came out, I mean, it was awesome. I was like, holy fuck, this is amazing. Even it was HD DVD and Blu-ray.
Yeah, there were the two options.
And then
didn't last very long, the HD DVD. No.
There's some rumors that said because Sony decided to go with, back then, that's when Sony was at the top of the industry. They decided to go with Blu-ray instead of HD DVD.
Well, Blu-ray was there, wasn't it? No,
they were part.
They were part of it with, is it Panasonic?
Samsung.
No, was it
Panasonic? Maybe.
I think it was Panasonic. Anyway, but yeah, and the porn industry, like you said, it comes down to porn.
Porn sells everything.
That's it.
Sex sells, bro. Sex sells.
I love these swivel mics. I can move.
Isn't it awesome?
It
I
is.
can't stop moving though.
Me too, because I get my shoulders are bad. So when I sit in a certain position for too long, I gotta move.
It's hot. I need to have some air coming in here. I have that big AC in the corner.
Yeah, I don't know why I decided to wear this shirt today.
Long sleeve shirt today.
Yeah, I'm dressed
pretty
up.
Nice day today.
Yeah. Well, I figured this way, I don't have to wear a jacket too.
Yeah. No,
resourceful.
I went out this morning and I had my jacket. I was like, I don't know why I'm wearing this. I thought it was going to rain.
Yeah, the forecast. Yeah, it's just rain, and then you get these sunny breaks, so it's okay.
You know what I discovered this week? Where, as an MMA fan, I'm a bit disappointed in myself that I never watched this fight because it's pretty epic. I've heard about the fight. It's part of MMA history, and it's Sakuraba versus Royce Gracie 1.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that fight?
Not live, but I remember watching it back afterwards. Yeah,
this was part of a Pride. Was it 2000? It was part of a Pride Grand Prix, and they had modified. This was like a semifinal. It was or a quarterfinal or a semifinal. It wasn't even the final. It wasn't even the last fight, and they modified the rules to be unlimited time.
Oh my! Was it?
And no ref stoppage.
Really?
Yeah. So I was like,
it's blurry in my memory. Like I remember getting YouTube the first time.
The fight went
just
on for
doing
an hour
nothing
and
but
40
Googling
some
the
minutes.
fights,
The fight was on for an hour and 40 some minutes until I think the rules were every 30 minutes they would have a 10-minute. They would have a break for fighters to go and sit and drink water and relax, and then I don't know how long, and then they would come back and fight. Then in between rounds, Gracie they threw the towel after an hour and 40 some minutes.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, man, I don't understand why. Number one, I wasn't really. I was aware of the fight, but I never really realized. See, they have a video on YouTube. It's 110 minutes.
Shit.
Yeah, so it's an hour and 40.
So I think it's safe to say I only saw the highlight package from that fight.
Yeah, it was fight of the year that year. They won. Let me find here. Give me a sec here.
Wikipedia.
Yeah, he lost. That was in May 1st, 2000. It went on for 90 minutes. It was the quarterfinal, so it was basically the first match in the Grand Prix for both of them. The craziest shit about that is that Sakuraba went on for 90 minutes, won, then in the same night fought.
In the finals.
In the semifinals. And he lost. He threw in the towel because he was exhausted.
No kidding. Jesus. That is something.
That's like not too long ago, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like basically it was no holds. Like it's basically okay. You got to either tap out or get knocked out. There's no ref stoppage though.
Mm-hmm.
How's that work? If there's no ref stoppage, can the ref stop a knockout?
I don't know. I guess it's a mutual respect. If had him knocked out to the point where he wasn't. I mean, I guess there was an understanding between the two, maybe. That you're not just going to keep pounding on the guy's head after he's got his eyes rolled behind his eyelids?
Or was it understand that none of these two guys were able to knock each other out?
Or that could have been, understood as well. That's not how it's going to end.
It's like, you're not going to hit me, and you're not going to knock me out, and I'm not going to knock you out. And but for an hour, imagine going an hour. You see these fights now go for 25 minutes, five minutes rounds, and these guys are exhausted.
Yeah, you talk about how they die in the championship rounds. Oh, they're the championship rounds, and they're gassed.
Did you watch the fight last week?
Last week?
Last weekend.
Didn't we watch it together?
Oh, fuck yeah.
We did.
So what do you think? Do you think at this point in where we're at right now, if there's nobody that can beat Jon Jones?
No, I thought
I think he shut a lot of people up last week with his performance. Because a lot of people saw his last fight against Gustafsson and they went,
they saw him as being vulnerable now.
They got a kink in his armor. Maybe he's beatable. And then obviously they were selling Teixeira as a guy that could beat him, in my opinion. We all knew
I thought he was going to make a better fight of it. I thought he was going to.
He got injured in the first round. The guy cranked his. I didn't even notice that the crank, the shoulder crank.
Yeah,
I thought he went for like they were. I remember them being locked up against the cage, and then Jon Jones like jumped up, and I thought he was trying to hit him with his shoulder, which you see sometimes GSP do on the ground where they're locked up, and then he kind of
I remember that moment where he hit him with the shoulders.
Well, apparently he did like a shoulder crank.
He was cranking him at that moment.
He jumped and he cranked his shoulder, and he destroyed apparently Teixeira's shoulder on that during that thing, so he wasn't able to fight. But even without that, I think we all knew. If you watch MMA, if you're a real fan, if you know anything, we all knew that Teixeira didn't have. What was his tool? He was going to knock him out?
I thought maybe his resiliency, the fact that he'd be able to dare to go maybe 15 seconds, go toe to toe, and maybe just catch him because he's got that balls to the wall attitude. And I mean, he's got to have a certain amount of confidence after, being undefeated in the last 20 some odd fights.
Of course.
10 years, right? So I thought maybe he'd be able to walk into his strikes and not be so scared. Well, not scared per se, but but more on the defensive, and just not be afraid to take the shot and get hurt. But it's just Jones. I mean, whether it's kicking the knees, which I hate. I don't like that.
Hyperextension of the knee.
Yeah, I don't like it, but he does it. He does it. He's already got the reach, and he's able to fucking extend that reach and keep a guy at bay by whether it's push kicking the knees and whatnot, and just using that unorthodox style that he used to really be cool for. I mean, I remember when John Jones was still a relatively unknown. What was cool about him was that he would ask fans for like suggestions and new moves, striking moves. He would YouTube stuff, and that's where you saw him doing the spinning elbow, but where he would like kind of crank it downwards as opposed to the straight up spinning elbow.
That he
stuff
caught
like
Stephane Paulin with.
Yeah, stuff like that, and he was pretty cool. And when he was suplexing guys left and right a bit too, and then
he still goes for these moves though that are a bit unorthodox.
That's it. So he still does that, but now because he's a champ and he's been undefeated for so long that now people are criticizing for it, like shoulder crank, new thing there.
Like everybody else, I think. Once you get that belt, but
it's easy to hate on somebody who's winning, right?
What people don't. When you get into the clinch with John Jones, he uses elbows all the time. An elbow compared to a fist, bro, it's a big fucking difference. When you get hit with an elbow, and so imagine if he hits you with an elbow, how easy it is for him to help hit him with your fist. The guy's got an 89-inch reach.
Well, that's it. He's using his elbow almost like a jab, right?
Exactly. Like he'll throw in as soon as the guy comes in, he throws that elbow,
and then again,
and the guys are
guy
like,
at bay.
Fuck,
I can't fucking go in there and take an elbow to the face every time I want to try to step into that zone.
I think it's intimidating for a lot
reach.
of guys. I think a lot of guys think that before the fight, they like, including Teixeira. I mean, as a fighter, they go in there and it's like, no, I'm not gonna let him intimidate me. And then they start getting rained down by these elbows and these shots and these leg kicks, and then you're like, oh shit, the guy actually can fucking hit. And you're like, oh, he hurt me.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, now I'm screwed because now I can't cover that reach advantage.
And he did a good job of keeping the fight, standing. But again, Jones.
But we all knew. I mean, Teixeira. I mean, his striking that's his bread and butter. He looks to knock people out. But if he can't knock you out within 3 rounds, towards that 4th round, you're losing all that juice. Especially if you've got,
Well, he had never. I don't think he'd ever fought beyond the 3rd round in his career. No,
I don't think he'd ever gone past the 2nd round. Has he?
Well, Maldonado, he went 3 rounds.
That's true. And Rampage. Too. Sorry,
but I don't think he's ever fought a 4. He's never been a 4th or 5th round. I don't think
this was his first fight in the fight. They might have had another main event in the UFC where it was 5 rounds, but he never made it out.
No, that's it. And even if he was champ in whatever where he was fighting previously,
was his debater fight a main event? I don't think so. No,
I don't think he's main evented. Well, the Rampage was a main event.
The Rampage was it?
No,
but it wasn't 5 rounds.
No, it wasn't.
It was back. I think it was Rampage's last fight on the contract.
Yeah, I don't think that was the main event.
But listen, fuck, man.
I don't know who's going to beat him. Tito actually, out of all people, if an egomaniac like Tito Ortiz can say, including my generation, John Jones is the most untouchable light heavyweight champion. That's saying something right there. If you didn't already think it yourself.
Talking about Tito, you got pissed this week because they basically erased him from history. They posted on the thing the wins.
Yes.
And they have 14, but Tito has 15.
Yeah.
They didn't put him on the thing.
Well, it's like when they had the top 100 fights of all time and they didn't have Tito versus Frank Shamrock.
Oh, yeah, just because Shamrock's beef.
Because, exactly. I mean, just to say how
that's
fucking
true.
Juvenile and petty the UFC can be, and Dana White in particular.
Yeah, Dana White holds grudges against guys.
Fuck, it's a history. Your sport's legitimate. Your organization is legitimate.
Yeah.
Well, you keep... this isn't like baseball keeping Pete Rose out of the Hall of Fame. This is a personal grudge that's keeping somebody who paved the way for the fighters that are now, celebrities. And, Frank Shamrock back in the day, not many people would have been able to pick him out of a lineup.
No.
But
he was champ,
and he was the definition, the prototype for the modern mixed martial artist. I mean, he was a really complete fighter, and he was something
very
to watch.
Complete. Cardio-wise, he had some great cardio. He had some great wrestling, some great striking. I think that the transition from just being a one-dimensional fighter, maybe Frank Shamrock, was paved the way towards that thing, you know.
Absolutely, and it sucks that because of personal grudge, he gets no credit.
Well, such as Tito Ortiz now.
Well, Tito, it's always been up and down with him, right? I mean, going back to the day where he had the Dana's My Bitch T-shirt.
Dana was his fucking manager at one point.
Yeah,
he was managing Liddell and Tito Ortiz. You know. He got convicted of DUI this week too, Tito Ortiz.
Oh, did he? Oh,
yeah,
shit.
I don't know if you knew, but he got caught drinking and driving a few months ago. And,
yeah, I remember. Yes.
And
TMZ.
He got convicted. He got probation there, like 36 months. I don't know how much it was.
And he got busted again drinking and driving.
No, but they gave him his sentence.
Oh, he got a sentence.
Either he was going to jail or you were going something. So. 36. He's obviously not gonna. The guy's got money. The guy's kids. I think he's got like 3 or 4 kids. He's got twins with Jenna Jameson, and he's got like. I follow him on Instagram. He always posts his pictures of his kid. He's a great dad.
Yeah.
He always with his kids. You know, especially since Jenna went on their breakdown, and I don't think she has any rights to her kids anymore.
Really?
When they broke up, she went a bit crazy, and he recorded. He put cameras in the house, and he would record her doing drugs. She would hide like these pills in behind, and she would take the
See, I didn't follow any of that.
She would drink, and so he kept all these videos of her. And then when they separated, she started calling him out. He's a bad father, and and this and that. So he's like, "Oh yeah, bitch." So he started pulling out these videos, and then the shit went away, and then she disappeared. And then after that. You'd see it on Twitter, on Instagram. It was all about his kids. He had all the kids. Because, let's face it, Jenna Jameson is a bit of a...
She's a porn star. I don't even like jerking off to videos that have been viewed by multiple thousands of men. He's fucking and marrying a woman who's been fucked for real by thousands of men. Well, maybe not thousands, but thousands of times by
She is a
men.
business lady, John. She is a business.
Oh, yeah.
She's made millions of dollars.
She's an entrepreneur.
She's made millions of dollars selling her Jenna.com website, man. Yeah. What are you talking about? I do not agree with you at all.
All right.
I don't even like her.
We agree to disagree.
I would not jerk off to Jenna Jameson.
No, I never really had a thing for her.
She is blonde, pale, and you see her now? She looks like a crack horse. She's skinny as fuck. Yeah. I don't know what's wrong with girls. I'm sorry if you're 90 pounds soaking wet, but I don't get the whole skinny. I don't like it. To me, I don't like the skin and bones.
Eat a cheeseburger.
Eat a bagel. Eat some carbs, man.
Yeah.
Tone up a little bit.
Carbs. Speaking of carbs, I gotta stay away from that shit. Man, you eat a lot of carbs. Well, when you're training, I guess it doesn't matter. But nowadays, like, you haven't hit the gym.
I haven't hit the gym, but I'm gonna go back to it.
Do you stay away from carbs in the meantime?
I try.
Fuck, man, I swear to God, my buttons are popping like a day after I eat 2 bagels. It's ridiculous, man. At this age, especially, it seems.
I'm back on a strict. I wouldn't say a strict diet, but I bought a new blender.
Yeah.
I do a lot of kale shakes and shit like that. So I eat a lot of vegetables and beans, and obviously I eat meat. I eat chicken. I eat stuff like that.
Yeah.
I ate a bowl of pasta before we got here. I bought a whole wheat pasta, so it's easier to digest. You know?
Yeah.
I try to stay away from the breads and the gluten and the pasta during the week, and it helps a lot.
Yeah. It does make a
The thing
difference.
with me that I'm starting to realize is, honestly, that's another thing I want to talk about, because it's affecting me now. When I was obviously I was off for 5 weeks. I was on pat leave, and I was taking care of my kids. And it's, your lack of sleep, you're tired. You don't always have time to cook. You don't have time to be healthy. I didn't have time to go train. I decided to stay home and help my spouse and my girlfriend out with the baby. We have 2 kids. Even though I was not going to work, I was a good boyfriend, and I stayed home, a good father, and I stayed home and I helped out. So I cut out the. But it's hard, I trying to eat well, especially when I go to the gym. I eat well, because I can't eat a cheeseburger and then go training. It just doesn't go together, And I find in myself, my girlfriend buys a lot of sweets.
Oh yeah,
right. She goes to make groceries and she fucking buys the cookies and the fucking chocolate. And so when I was on pat leave, I ate a lot of sweets. We'd have dinner, we have lunch, and then I have chocolate cookies, a bit of chocolate here, ice cream especially.
Oh, ice cream's the worst.
Sugar is a fucking drug, and I am now addicted to sugar.
Oh.
And I seriously am addicted. I can't go a meal without craving sugar after a meal.
Really?
It is extremely bad. Like earlier, I had a nice bowl. I woke up this morning, had a kale shake, cucumbers, celery, kale, spinach, ginger, with a pear, blended that in my new blender.
Oh, my mouth was watering.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
And then I had that for breakfast. I went out. I came back. I was hungry. Made myself a nice bowl of whole wheat pasta. And then after that, I had a fucking craving for sweets, man. I was like, yes, I started.
No kidding. After all that, I'd be craving crack, I think. Anything. Yeah. Kale, is that any good? What does it taste like?
Kale is...
I've never had kale.
It's a leafy...
It's like a seaweedy taste?
No.
Like spinachy?
No, it's a bit rough. It's a lettuce, but it's I wouldn't say bitter, but there's a taste to it. I love it. I like it. I like any greens. I like earthy. Honestly, I got used to it, and I like earthy, grassy stuff.
Fucking hipster.
Yeah, I'm a hippie. I'm like a fucking hippie, but it helps, man.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Everything.
Yeah, I got to try to eat more fruits and veggies.
Helps with my poops.
Keeps me regular.
Poops just slide out of my bum.
Oh, Jesus
with
Christ.
the kale shakes, bro.
Yeah, speaking of the
what is that? That's the Tinkerbell anal bead.
Tinkerbell's anal bead.
Wow, this whiskey is delicious, no?
Yeah, this I gotta say, Jesus. And I'm glad you drink it on ice. I don't like drinking my drinks warm at room temperature.
No,
I gotta have something on ice, and it sucks when you're offered a nice glass of whiskey, but you don't want to be the one to say, "What can I have on ice?" So I appreciate.
Not only do I put ice in mine,
makes it less awkward.
I either drink it on ice, I let it come cold, or I even put a splash of water.
Yeah.
I dilute it just a little bit. Just not for the taste.
Doesn't necessarily burn your throat too, right? Like just going down very smoothly.
If you buy a single malt, like I always buy like a 12-year or more. I mean, this isn't expensive. I bought a bottle for like $50. And I was like, I'll try it. I was surprised. Yeah, you can buy fucking bottles of scotch for like $300.
Yeah,
I'm like,
insane.
I don't have a budget to buy a $300 bottle of scotch.
No.
Let's face it. But
if you have a budget at home for a $300 bottle of scotch, you've also got a budget to sponsor the Modern Maverick Podcast.
That's
Back
right.
to you, Steph.
Back to me. It's awesome. But there's one more thing I wanted to say about the UFC, and it's one thing I learned. That segue was talking about John Jones earlier, and I kind of forgot about. Listen, there's two things I learned at UFC 172 after we watched it last week. Is that how dominant John Jones is in his division, and how he's here, and everybody else is here, including Gustafsson. He might have caught him on a bad day, and I think the only way to see if it's really legit and if he could really beat him is in a rematch.
Well, they're fighting again, are they not?
They probably will.
Didn't Dana announce it officially?
Oh yeah,
I think he did. Not too long after the fight.
Yeah,
I believe so.
Oh,
unless the whiskey's starting to catch up to my brain,
I guess.
And making things a little weird. Twisting the facts. This ain't Fox News, folks. We get it right. Let's double check it.
Fucking Fox. Oh, he tore Glover's labrum. That shoulder crank.
I thought that was a lady part when I read that article.
He tore your labia?
I did that to my
first
girlfriend.
Is that even a woman's part?
Labia, I think it is. That's what I thought. I read first.
Okay.
It's somewhere in
the whiskey
in this thing.
We should do John Jones versus Chuck Liddell. That's what they should do.
Yeah.
Imagine.
And have the ambulance next to the octagon. Make sure it's an outdoor show so they can get to the hospital very easily.
Fuck. I don't know if he's going to fight. I can't find anything. But it's the only matchup to make at 205. So that's one. Especially
now, Machida before that was, they've got Cormier, right? But I don't know if Cormier's going to get by Henderson.
Not if Henderson lays the H-bomb on him.
Yeah, mind you, there's no more TRT, right?
True. That was his last fight on TRT in Brazil against
no more
Shogun.
of that. And also Belfort may not be as much of a threat either, minus TRT.
He's campaigning to replace Machida against Weidman because it got pushed back because Weidman got injured.
Yeah.
And now Vidor says, I'm ready. I'm like, dude, you've been on TRT for years now.
I don't know.
Dude, you're going to get massacred. I'm sorry. People might not agree with me. this guy has been living on TRT for a long time.
Well, you saw the difference. We saw the new Vitor Belfort a few
you
years
saw
ago.
in it just the way he looks. He looks phenomenal. The abs, fucking in shape. He didn't even look like that when he was in his 20s.
No.
Nah, man. The TRT, he did it right. If there was a poster boy for TRT, dude, he started doing, like, he was a taekwondo fucking champion. These fucking wheel kicks and hook kicks and spinning heel kicks that he knocked out Luke Rockhold with. Like, are you kidding me? You're 33 or 34 years old. And you're starting to add this to your fucking, like, to your arsenal of fighting. It's crazy. But I'm sure the TRT had a lot to do with it.
I'm pretty sure it did.
Fucking, he's a playboy too.
Yeah.
He's God's playboy.
But we'll see. I don't know. I'm a Hendo fan, and I'm not much of a Cormier fan, so it's maybe a little bit biased on my part. Rooting for Henderson,
they say the winner gets a title shot.
Yeah, bizarre.
I don't think Endo deserves a title shot.
No.
Even if he beats Cormier.
No. Well,
he didn't look that good against Shogun.
He didn't, but
He
if
knocked
he
him
beats
out.
Cormier, who else is there other than Cormier, right? Like, they've been hyping him up, and if he can derail that train.
When is that fight? Is that soon? If that's soon, then they should give him
I think it's in
Gustafsson.
May. Is it not? Hold on, I'll tell you right now what's going on.
I'm just happy that Anthony Johnson fucking beat Phil Davis and shut him up.
Yes. Yeah, we were both very happy to see that result.
Phil Davis was exposed greatly at UFC 172. I've always thought that he was overhyped. I didn't think that all that, and that's the reason why he never got a title shot in the first place. I think a lot of people in the biz saw how overhyped he was.
Yeah.
I think he didn't really beat anybody. Nogueira? Did he? No, he beat Nogueira.
He beat Nogueira.
He lost to
beat,
Evans.
He beat Bader. Who did he?
Yeah, but since when is Bader a fucking?
No, I know Bader. Well, no, he lost to fucking Tito here.
Teixeira beat Bader, you get a title shot. Yo, dude. Since when is Bader a fucking? It's like all of a sudden Bader is he's a gate. Whatever
He's a perennial gatekeeper, is what Bader is. Yeah, but no, there's nobody else. I mean, look at the top 10 at 205, and
you got a 43-year-old in Dan Anderson. That the reason he fights at 205, he's not a 205 guy. He's a 185 guy. But the only reason he fights at 205 is because he doesn't want to cut weight anymore.
Yeah,
because he's 43 years old.
Yeah,
he's not Randy Couture, man. That's what people have to stop thinking. Randy Couture won a championship when he was 46 years old. He was also won it in a division that had no fighters when Tim Sylvia was an actual champion.
Yeah. And speaking of Andrei Arlovsky's back, speaking of the Sylvia days.
Fuck. That's all right. I think he deserves a shot in the UFC.
I always liked him. So, he puts on good fights. He either gets knocked out or will knock Schaub out. I mean, it's the battle of the chins. And not by chin.
I don't think Schaub has much of a chin.
No,
either.
neither of them do. So that's why it'll be fun to watch. Yeah. But no, I mean, I've said it for a long time. The best fighters in the world were not all into UFC.
No.
And we've just seen that, and we're seeing it again when the UFC is getting a guy like Arlovsky, bringing a guy like Arlovsky back because.
But I don't think the UFC.
It's just their new breed. I mean, they've got a couple. They got Dos Santos and Velasquez, but after that, it's made up of ex-Pride guys and guys that they got outside of the UFC, and then there's Frank Mir.
That they keep not firing after 3 or 4 losses.
But I mean, that's your heavyweight top 10.
But imagine if Arlovsky actually goes on a run. Damn.
It'd be fun to see after seeing Mark Hunt do that last year. It'd be nice to get behind Arlovsky.
Yeah, I mean, if he gets a few wins, he beats Schaub, and then he beats a top 5 or a top 10.
And then Velasquez punches his head off.
Yeah, Velasquez.
makes Arlovsky's head and the mat one.
Yeah. Remember when he almost beat Fedor?
Yeah.
And then Fedor he was getting outboxed in that match. And
yeah.
Fedor woke up. Oh, there's a fight going on. I'm sorry.
Okay, hold on. Bang.
Bang, yeah.
Superman punch? Yeah,
Let's
I
go.
don't think so.
Let's go for a
it was
flying knee.
Flying knee in the
Let's go
corner.
for a flying knee.
Yeah, he got a little overconfident.
Like, I'm gonna go for a flying knee, and then he was sleeping before he hit the mat.
Well, we'll see. I don't know. You think Verdum's got any of a chance? No.
Verdum, it looked great against Brown. There's nobody's gonna beat Velasquez. Velasquez is going to put a pace on you that you've never seen in your fucking life. He's going to put that pace against him. He's going to put him against the cage, and Verdum is going to be left to go to his jiu-jitsu. He's going to try to pull guard. He's going to fall on his back. He was trying to
look like the Overeem fight all over again.
And then Velasquez is going to go, get back up, bitch. And then he's going to punch you in the face for 5 rounds. Or Velasquez is going to knock you out. He's going to finish you. Verdum has looked good. His striking looked great, but let's face it, I don't think he has any of that anymore. I think it's done. But who else can beat him? What, are you going to give another fight to Junior Dos Santos? Junior Dos Santos, in my opinion, lost like 5 years out of his life over the last 2 Velasquez fight.
I don't know. And now what's his name?
Beaten, bro.
Roy Nelson's dropped to 205.
No,
or is he? It's still not. He's
fighting. Wasn't he fighting now?
He's coming. Yeah, he's got a fight coming up. I know he was working on cutting to 205.
I think he gave that up.
I gave that up because I don't know if anybody's got a chance, and it's only because he's got knockout power like nobody else really does, and he's got pretty decent wrestling size and jiu-jitsu. But he's very inconsistent.
He's inconsistent. He's good, and then he gets.
If anybody's got a chance to do it based on what he has shown, I think it would maybe be him.
Because he's got a style maybe that matches up well with Velasquez. He beat Nogueira.
That's it. He just beat Nogueira. That's right.
He knocked him out.
That's it. And he's trying to get himself a title
he's
shot.
Campaigning, and I think he's going to fight Mark Hunt.
Yeah,
I think that would be a great matchup.
But it doesn't. Beating Mark Hunt doesn't put you into a title contention either, and that's what he's looking for. He's not getting any younger. But I think it'd be an interesting matchup, Nelson versus.
He needs to put a few fights together. He lost twice, and then his win against Nogueira was his first win in three fights.
No.
He needs to put a string of like 2-3 wins together, and maybe campaign to fight.
So who does he fight next? Who's coming off winning streaks in that division?
Nobody. You should have put him against. No, he beat Cormier. No, did he fight Cormier?
Yeah.
But Cormier is campaigning at 205 now. I'm sorry.
That's it. Well, that's why when they fought, I figured it was to lead towards both guys cutting at 205, and Cormier did it, but Nelson didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, he beat Congo and.
But even then, I don't know.
It's tough.
It's amazing. I mean, UFC. It's
well. The other thing
from one year to the next, they're all on top of the world, and now it's like, well, we got no more matchups and no legitimate contenders.
There's another thing I learned at UFC 172 is that the UFC and fighting MMA in particular is becoming extremely unpredictable.
Mm-hmm.
You remember the days when you used to be able to predict pretty much who was going to win? You had a guy in the.
I was great on those betting websites. I should have had the balls to put more money down because I would predict 80% of the fights.
Yeah.
There was actually Sportsnet actually had they just tried to do an MMA pool. I don't know if they still did it, but I was tied for first in Canada.
Are you serious?
Yeah, man. After 4 pay-per-views, I think I had only had 3 matches wrong. It was ridiculous. But a few years ago, it was.
It was super easy to predict the fights.
Very easy.
But nowadays, it is extremely unpredictable. And I think the Phil Davis-Anthony Johnson fight proved that. People are thinking, Anthony Johnson's coming back. He's coming off 4 fights in a row. Is it 4 or 6 wins in a row outside of the UFC? Yeah. He's coming back. He's fighting Phil Davis that's, it's talking trash already against John Jones. And then he just dominates him for 3 rounds. And I'm like, it's so unpredictable.
But I think anybody who's followed both guys' careers knew that or thought that Johnson was winning that fight, right?
Of course, because I knew he was not going to be able to take him down. I knew it. I was like, if he's not going to take him down, he's not going to win that fight. Yeah. Davis doesn't have the striking to beat Johnson, especially the who he's training with. Man, in Black Zillion, I mean, I used to laugh at their camp, but they're strong. They're slowly becoming a camp to fuck that nobody wants to fuck with. Finally,
like the Wu-Tang.
No fuck with the Wu-Tang, but. But fights are extremely unpredictable though. Their matchups are so tight. The guys facing each other. They just announced yesterday Cowboy Cerrone versus Jim Miller.
Yeah.
How unpredictable is that fight?
That one is gonna go the distance.
Like holy fuck, man. Cerrone is coming out of a few fights where he's knocking guys out. And then you got Jim Miller that just a grinder and he'll fucking submit you or he'll knock you out and
I think it's going to be one of those up and down grinding fights, clinching against the cage when it's standing and a lot of fucking grappling on the ground, a lot of work on the ground.
Cerrone is no bitch on the ground
No,
either. He can
no.
submit you. Jim Miller can submit you. They both can knock each other out. I don't think Miller can knock Cerrone out. Cerrone has a chin on him, but I don't even know if he's ever been knocked out. But
Yeah, didn't he get knocked out last year? Did he not get knocked? Who did he lose to? He got knocked out by fuck, man. These things used to be right, on the tip of my tongue.
yeah,
In a
but
good
the
way.
whiskey is
But now,
too many shit in my head. There's only a certain amount of space in your head for stuff. You know what I mean? All right, let's see what's up going on here.
Fuck, my thing
Did
is
he
still
get
screwed
knocked
up.
out?
It's still screwed up.
Here.
He was finished, was he not?
Decision. His last loss was against Dos Anjos. It was a decision. He lost. Oh, Anthony Pettis TKO'd him with a kick to the body.
There you go.
Yeah.
That was what, second round, first round?
First round.
First round.
He didn't look right in that fight, though.
No, and Pettis is Pettis, too.
Nate Diaz outboxed him for 3 rounds. Benson Henderson choked him out. Decision to him. He lost to Jamie Varner, a technical a split decision. That's it. So he never really got knocked out. He got knocked out with a body kick. But
No, not knocked out.
dude, I don't think Jim Miller's got
No. He's not known for that either.
No, he's more of a grinder grappler, and then he'll submit you at the end of the day. It's a great matchup, though.
Well, yeah,
If you're looking for a fight of the night,
Yeah, because especially after who did he fight? Yancy Medeiros last week, some dude who I didn't even know existed before the matchup was announced. But that was a last minute replacement. He was supposed to fight.
you guys went out for a smoke break, and
it was over.
He submitted him. Same thing with
over.
the other fight. Like, and it's over. It was that fight before Anthony Johnson. I think you guys went out.
The Rockhold Belch Boach fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank God we didn't order it on pay per view the
Oh my
legitimate
God.
way.
Yeah. Who rents? I'm sorry. Okay. What do you mean we didn't rent? We did rent it on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
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 I don't know what you're talking about.
Me neither.
I gave money to rent the pay-per-view. I don't know where you watched that fight, but I paid for my cut.
Sorry, it was a memory lapse.
Propaganda, motherfucker. But the UFC is very unpredictable, and that's what you have to. That's what you have to like about it now. It sucks. I remember the days when every fight on the card was a fucking, the Liddell and the Ortiz, and then every main event card was a fucking superstar versus a superstar.
Well, there's no more of that.
There's no more of that.
No. Well, like you said, that card in Australia featuring 2 guys that are coming off of each,
Mark Watt versus fucking Tahuna.
they're each coming off losing streaks.
One's lost his last 3 fights, and one's lost his last 2 fights.
Yeah.
Dude, and you're main eventing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, man. I mean, that to me is I don't know if they're trying to make a point. Tahuna is from New Zealand or from Australia.
Yeah.
I get it. Plus, it's his first fight at 185. How's that guy gonna make 185? He used to fight at heavyweight.
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna look.
I was amazed to see how big Anthony Johnson looked against
His
Phil
face
Davis.
is
How
huge.
the
His
fuck
face
did
and
this guy
head is
make
ridiculous.
170 is just blows my
I don't
fucking
know.
mind.
Like he looks like he's always just had his wisdom teeth removed.
Yeah, it's like bloated, Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy walks around at 230 pounds, and the guy made 170 pounds. It blows my mind. That guy probably fucked up his health too by cutting a lot of weight. You know what I mean?
I can't. Yeah, must have done. What's that do with damage to the liver, especially? Does it not?
Damage to everything.
Everything.
Hey, before we go, I put out a Modern Maverick showdown last week.
Yeah.
We didn't even speak about that.
We didn't. That's right.
Fuck.
That's right.
Forgot
The
about
biggest
that.
rivalry, sports rivalry.
Sports biggest rivalry, and I got a lot of comments on it, and I want to mention them because there's a few out there that I didn't put. I mean, I only had a few spaces on my picture, but I obviously put the obvious rivalries. Yankees versus Red Sox, the Bruins versus the Habs, and I put Real Madrid versus Barcelona, which is probably the biggest rivalry in soccer.
Oh, that's that soccer sport I keep hearing about.
Yeah,
There's
you
like
don't
a
know
World
about
Cup
soccer,
coming.
yeah. And Lakers versus the Celtics, obviously, more probably in the 80s. But
Yeah,
and then
that
you got the
rivalry,
Bears
yeah,
versus
hasn't
the
existed
Packers,
for a
which
long
is
time.
also. I got some comments. Basically, I got NFL. I got this guy K Aiden on Instagram. He said San Francisco versus Seattle, which is probably becoming one of the biggest rivalries in the NFL in the NFL right now.
Mm-hmm.
I got also out west, which is my team. I got my boy on Instagram, Joe Cataldo, said you can't forget about the Dodgers versus the Giants, which is mostly a Western thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a San Francisco Giants fan, and I know how big the rivalry between the Dodgers and the Giants are. It's pretty huge. And
blurry. Is it on autofocus?
Is it? I hope not.
It just got blurry before. My vision.
Yeah, it's you're drinking. Another comment I got from a guy here. Let's see here. I got Ohio's. Was it the guy? Sorry, my friend. I'm looking at my comments here. Is it Michigan versus Ohio State in apparently in NCAA football? It's one of the biggest rivalries. It's been going on for about 100 years. Which day every time.
Well, that's pretty big.
Big. I think college football is pretty huge.
I don't know. I don't think anything compares to the rivalries of the Habs have with the Leafs and more so the Bruins. I think that's a rivalry that's lived through decades, and I think it gets really personal. And I mean, we've seen that this week especially, and I think it just speaks to the magnitude of that rivalry.
Yeah.
And we mentioned yes, it's maybe more true to us because we're here, but you see it, and if you're a hockey fan, when you're watching the Bruins versus the Habs, you're gonna watch a hell of a fucking game.
What was that?
The fuck is that? I'm talking on the radio. You're on the air. I'm on the air. I don't know.
Is that you?
It's recordings I did for somebody a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, I don't know. I told you my computer's acting up, man. Yeah, I'm working fucking pro bono now, apparently, doing vocal work for free. That's really veering in the opposite direction of what I was hoping for, but whatever. Giving a few friends a hand. I got a buddy who's making a movie, actually.
Oh, yeah?
And there's a radio announcer guy in the...
Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah, so I have to have more dialogue. I got to record for him this week. And I helped another one there with her school project. They just got her law degree, actually. So I went to a good cause.
That's good.
Yeah. Good for her. That's tough. I always wanted to be a lawyer, but I don't like school. Was good at it. Didn't like it.
No.
I was good at it because I just wanted to get the fuck out.
Yeah. It's like, what's the fastest way out of here? I got to be good at it.
Oh, good grades? Okay. That'll do.
All right. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
All right. So,
speaking of which,
that's time for us to go.
Yeah,
I'd like to thank our first official sponsor again. This episode was brought to you by Orage Design MTL. Thanks again to Orage Design MTL for being our first official sponsor. And once again, if you have any renovations need or projects you'd like to get complete and you live in the greater Montreal area, give my boy a call at Orage Design MTL, www.oragedesign.com. Check him out, oragedesign.com. I'd like to thank our sponsor and our listeners for listening in, and we'll catch you again next week for another episode of the Modern Maverick Podcast. See you later.